we could not get through that scene. It was just we were constantly breaking. Ed O'Neill would say a line. Now we're breaking. We're laughing at him. Like it was just nonstop.
Tickets are on sale for KFC Radio Live. Click the link in the bio. Get yours. Come out and hang with the boys. It looks like you're ready to hit the links.
Hit the links.
Golf. Yeah. What's going on? Things good?
Yeah. Nice and clean, I bet.
I'm sure.
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm doing well. I just came back from Arts and Crafts Day with my kids.
I was hoping I didn't know if a kid was gonna.
No, me and John were just doing Arts and Crafts together.
Totally advocate for it.
Adult Arts and Crafts. Yeah, maybe we could use some more of that. It was for like a month. You smell great.
Do I?
You do smell nice.
Holy
I
Yeah.
just sprayed a little bit of this.
This.
Something my husband had, but it had the name. The word rose was in it. Do you smell? Does it smell like roses?
Despite the size, I don't have a good nose. I can never smell anything.
We could
at
use
all.
whatever that is. Maybe we could get some of that for this room. In general.
It's definitely a bro room.
Yeah.
You know what's weird? We've tried to not have. I think it's our existence exudes it. Despite the fact that you're a little bro ensemble. I don't think we're particularly bro people.
No, you look like an asshole.
But I look like a professional cricket player. Thank you very much. But
We get labeled that a lot, and sometimes we're really not bros. We're really kind of all internet nerds
It's just
deep
when you're
down.
sitting in a paneled room.
Yeah.
With like whatever this situation, a Nintendo.
yeah, that doesn't give us the
You know,
best
it's not-
one.
you're not-
Yeah.
We have the Mormon shirt behind us.
There you go. Right.
That outfit right there. One time I forgot. I left my luggage in a hotel as we went to a wedding in Florida, and I was like, all right, I'll just pick up some clothes when we get there. But we were cutting it close, and the only place on the way from the airport to the venue was like a Walmart in Florida. And I was like, I don't know, I'll just get some sort of shitty dress shirt, but it'll be okay. And they only had short sleeves, and they only had these like $10 dress shoes. And I looked like that, and it was awful. It was the most embarrassing. And so I was like, I'll just keep my jacket on because whatever, white shirt, jacket will be fine. And then it was outside, it was hot, and I took my jacket off, and I knew it was coming. I was just like, and the table was like, oh, this guy. I was like, no.
That's hilarious.
Brutal.
Well, here it is.
I
I don't think it's been ironed since that night.
That's exactly how it looked. I got a bone to pick with you, as I do with all people who do this. You're not allowed to have a podcast. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I literally just came from recording one.
No, can't do it because
I'll let them know.
I'm mad at the talented, successful people who then start podcasts because it's for failures like us who can't make it in the real world of entertainment. We do this podcasting thing, and then you guys come in and you have incredible talent and amazing connections and a diehard fan base, and you're going to make all the money.
I mean, I am here because I heard you guys do a really great podcast, and
Yeah, they
I'm
lied
here.
to.
So, like, I feel like if I'm here, certainly you must get pretty good talent. Right?
True. I mean, it is an
Or am I,
honor.
like,
It
the
is an
one?
honor.
We're hoping Jess is a breakthrough.
No, you got yourself a hell of a resume. Sure.
I don't know. It's
But-
definitely like I'm starting this podcast, but it definitely feels like the waters are very full of mini pod. Like I am not the only fish in the sea.
Sure.
And not like when you talk about celebrity podcasts, I mean, Jesus, everyone seems to have one. I was doing some research, and then there's people who like have had multiples.
Yeah.
Like they'll do like a few seasons of one, and then they like do a whole new concept. I'm like. I mean,
What
it
I'd
is,
give for that kind of leeway. The moment I try a new concept on this one, I'm out of a job.
Yeah, we gotta keep. We got something. We're
what
just gonna
is
hold
the
on forever.
concept here? Do you get, no.
It's
Loose.
nonsense.
We play loose and
Yeah, I
fast.
like it. I mean, I'm very comfortable. That's all that matters.
It is highly, become kind of like saturated recently, but the people who stick with it, even just a little bit of time, you separate yourself pretty fast.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are like, I'm doing a podcast, and then they think it's going to be like a huge success right away. As much as I'm joking, it is a little bit of something where people go like, I could do that. And it's like, oh, yeah? Well, then do it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And then they try, and they're either not good, or they don't like the fact that you got to do it every week or every day or whatever your frequency is.
It does sort of, because we're launching on the 23rd, and I have to do 24 this first season, and it does sort of feel like Indiana Jones running from the ball.
Yes,
like once you
that's
start
a great description.
you're like, oh god, we gotta like keep going.
And yours is it's gonna be like a video based as well, or no? Is it gonna be audio?
No. It's we're at
you're
restaurants.
breaking bread and eating.
Yeah, we're at restaurants where I'm taking friends to restaurants and just having conversations over different meals. So it does make it a little more complicated because every time we do a podcast, every time we record one of these, it's a completely different setup. Like we don't have the yellow couch and the panel walls.
Sure. Whatever the restaurant has, right? Yeah.
Whatever the restaurant has. So like every restaurant's different. Sometimes we're there during service and there's other people there, and like we're just tucked away in a corner.
That's cool.
So
I like that. I like that a lot.
It does. It's really great. I mean, I just did one with Jim Parsons today. We were down at Don Angie's, which is one of my favorite restaurants down in Greenwich Village, and they don't open till 5, so they opened the doors for us a little early so we could eat. So like we had a very controlled atmosphere there. But as far as doing a video, you can't. It just seems too many things.
Yeah.
Particularly
work up
to it.
That kind of thing that there are like. Sometimes I don't even know if it's a show. I don't even know if they're series or they're one-offs. But sometimes when you see someone eating and it is in a closed-off restaurant, you're like, "This is bizarre. It's not how it happens for me."
Also, I mean, like the guests that I've had are already self-conscious about eating like with a microphone anywhere near them.
So like
if I had a video camera. Is that what they're calling them these days?
Camcorder device.
I just feel like I don't know. It's asking a lot.
If we miss lunch and I take a bite of food on the show, my listeners are always like, "Stop chewing into the microphone."
Yeah.
So that might be a little bit of a hurdle.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys can figure that out.
Yeah,
but
we figure it out.
I'm glad you mentioned Greenwich Village because I think I live near you.
Oh yeah.
I've seen. We'll bleep out where I say I see you sometimes.
Oh yeah. I'm very close there. Yeah.
We'll bleep that out.
Have you always been a New York guy?
I always walk by my
I'm here and in LA. I was here a lot. You probably saw me for the past year because I was doing a play on Broadway, so I was here a lot. But I go back and forth to LA. Home base is LA.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where are you originally from?
Albuquerque, New Mexico is where I was raised, but I was
shit.
born in Missoula, Montana.
Whoa.
Two places you never have heard of or don't know people from.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I'll ever meet anybody else from either of those places ever again. Congrats. That's.
Well, have you had Neil Patrick Harris or Freddie Prinze Jr. on this show?
We've had Freddie.
Freddie,
He's from Albuquerque, from what I understand.
Is he?
We just talked about wrestling the whole time.
Oh, really?
I
didn't know Freddie brought the wrestling. I don't even know much about wrestling.
Well, he was doing a wrestling podcast.
Makes sense.
So
there it is.
He was doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Case in point.
I would love Neil Patrick Harris too. He'd be great. I think we'd have a good time with him. But so I mean, it is.
Who else do you have for guests? I know you said the. I know you don't want to repeat
well, so far it's been it's Julie Bowen. She's the first episode. My sister from Modern Family, and then Jesse Williams, who I did the play with here in New York, and then we had Kristen Bell, Fred Armisen. And
Niecy Nash. This is why you're an asshole. You know who my first guest was? My first guest was a guy who was on Nickelodeon Guts when he was 13.
Was it Carl?
It was funny though. We all the three guys on the show. We used to have another host, and we all remembered this one guy from Nickelodeon Guts where he dominated the he just crushed everybody on the show. And we tracked him down somehow. That was our big first guest.
Well, listen.
You've got Julie
He
Bowen.
sent us oranges.
Yeah, he did.
I did have an in with Julie Bowen.
I guess you got to hook up.
I did time for 11 years with that one. I feel like she only owed me,
We've had Eric on the show a few times now.
Yeah,
well, there you go.
I think maybe 3 times.
He busts our balls every time.
Oh my God. He would fit right into this room.
He almost
He's actually never been in this room. He's been in old studios.
No, I'm so jealous that I'm beat him here before he did.
He tried to ruin goat cheese for the whole
world. He hates goat cheese.
You know why he hates goat cheese?
Yeah. Oh, I do.
And he told me that, and
seems like that's Eric's party trick.
Yes.
You like goat cheese? I'd like to throw a wrench in that real quick.
Yeah.
I love goat cheese to the point that I was like, I don't care, brother. You can tell me it smells like whatever. I'm eating it. But the rest of the world, I'm sure, was ruined.
I thought it was going to ruin it. It made me throw up. Don't get me wrong.
Next time you had goat cheese, though, you definitely thought about it.
I thought about it every time.
That smells
which
like.
is almost like made me now in my head. I'm like, am I a pervert? like, what is going on? Why? I'm like seeking out goat cheese now.
I love it. It's
hey, guys, guess what I'm eating right now?
Man, Modern Family was quite a run, dude. You had a good one.
I think it is. actually right now I go through phases with. I actually wonder what's your nighttime TV show? Like, do you have TV on in bed?
I don't have a TV in my bedroom currently, but I used to, and because my husband, he would always fall asleep with the TV on, and so like it's very comforting for him. So he would love it if I would watch TV and go to bed and with the TV on.
Yeah.
I tend to watch I catch up on SNL. I tend to watch I catch up on things.
Yeah.
I do the rewatch.
Survivor.
So you kind of like a reality.
I do like reality
yeah.
TV.
Yeah.
I just watched Jury Duty though, which
we
I
were literally just
obsessed with.
Dude, we had James Marsden and we had Ronald on.
What? You had Ronald here?
No, Zoom.
But still.
But I mean that to me that felt like the get of the century.
I want to meet
for me
Ronald so bad.
Dude, that guy. I told him I was like, if you play your cards right, I think you're gonna be a megastar because that guy has a likability factor that I don't think I've seen on anybody, maybe ever.
Is he want to act? What does he want to do?
Well, yeah, he said he's he was a little bit vague, but he was like, I'm talking to some representation, and
of course he is, yeah,
right, and he just signed a deal with Ryan Reynolds promoting Mint Mobile, so he was in a video with him.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if I'm not sure if we'll see him in Oscar award-winning movies just yet.
Never
but I think
know.
You really don't.
Never know.
But I could see some sort of hosting or some sort of
just
reality shows or whatever.
Charming.
Yeah.
And Marsden,
good-looking guy, tall, handsome, funny, and just
yes.
genuine. Apparently, the most genuinely nice guy of all time.
Truly.
Have you gotten to the scene yet where he has to talk to the guy's girlfriend?
Oh yeah.
I was we were talking about that. I was like, dude, I would do exactly what you did, but seeing someone, because I'm such a pushover, I was like, yeah, I'll talk to her, sure. Yeah. And I was like, but seeing someone else go through it was one of the most incredible. I'll think about that scene forever.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. Just call her. Just call her.
When she's like, we're fucking done or whatever. I'm fucking this other guy, and he's like, what'd she say? I don't know, man.
Just call her. I just want out of that situation. He just won every social test that they threw at him.
Yeah, totally. Really did.
And that's why I was like, I don't know if this. I was like, I still think there's going to be a double trick that you guys were getting played and Ronald was in on it because
no one's that good of an actor.
Nice?
No.
Yeah, I know.
Because even Marsden, who I love, you're like, I see a little acting coming through. But I was so impressed with him because I'm someone who desperately needs someone to like me and to also respect me and not think poorly of me. And Marsden was being asked to play this heightened version of himself. Oh, yeah. Not even just himself, of just actors in general.
Yeah, be an asshole actor.
I was so I'd be like, I don't think I would have been brave enough to talk about my work and the craft the way that you did.
Oh my god, he was
and
so
fear
cringy.
that someone's gonna think I'm a fucking douchebag.
He was the epitome of it.
So great.
I hope that the next rom-com that needs the douchebag ex-boyfriend or the villain or whatever, here's your guy.
I hadn't seen him in much comedy. He's done a little bit. He's in 27 Dresses.
Yeah.
And
we all know his credits from watching Jury Duty. He named them 9 times. He did an episode of Modern Family, which is how I know him.
He did?
Yeah.
What was that?
We had this guy who was he ends up squatting in my daughter's princess castle in the backyard.
Oh, yeah, it's an early episode, right?
Performed Reiki on us. He was a yoga type guy. So I remember because Marsden's wildly handsome, and I've always thought that before. And then I got to meet him. He's such a cool guy. And then literally the scene I'm shooting with him, he's giving me a massage. And I'm like, well, the universe is a funny place, isn't it?
he is obviously, everyone knows he's handsome. And then I saw him in person. I was like, get out of here.
Yeah, he's ridiculous.
I don't want to be on camera
it's
with you,
that
dude.
smile that's like a square.
Yeah. What an asshole.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite, I guess, guest star on Modern Family?
On Modern Family? Well, Nathan Lane is someone who I've just adored for years, and he had a reoccurring role. And I got to become I was already kind of friendly with him, but we became a lot closer through that experience, and that's something I really treasure, just having the opportunity to work with him. Gosh, we were really, really lucky.
You guys
got
were
some
big.
really.
I almost think you're while being super recognized and winning 1 million awards and being on TV forever and all that. I almost think your show's underrated in a way. Like it really.
I don't know if the Emmys would say that. They'd be like, I think they've had their due.
No, but like it to me, it's like right up there with like every other of the great sitcoms that's like totally rewatchable and will be watched for absolutely ever and all that.
I have met a lot of people who. Mostly adults who are like my children are discovering it for the first time. It's all available now, so they binge things so quickly.
It's kind of timeless.
They're like they've watched the whole series in like 3 weeks. And like, gee, that's 250 episodes. Like
that's 12 years of my life.
That's 12 years of my life that you've just watched in 3 days.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And it is something like, you can watch that forever.
Yeah.
Every kid can turn that on and relate, and parent can relate. Like
it is.
Maybe times will change, but like that shit always is happening.
That was one of the early shows that like we watched I'm sure a million, like as a family, where it's like because we all obviously I grew up with I have 3 siblings, and my parents and we all get together to watch it, but we all watched our own things. But like that was one like everyone was like
it seemed like it had kind of universal appeal for sure,
and it still does. It is incredibly timeless. Where like it is the reason I asked the reasons all started is your night show because I kind of rotate sitcoms and currently Modern Family's mine.
What if I said Modern Family is my sitcom? Like, Jesus Christ!
I watch it every night.
I watch it every
night. Just my scenes. I mute it when anyone else is talking.
What's your favorite scene from it? Or not favorite? What's your favorite episode?
Well, I mean, I found the wedding episodes when Mitch and Cam get married to be very, very profound and meaningful.
Yeah.
Obviously, in that time in our country, we were still fighting for marriage equality. So it just felt like really, I was like, I can't believe we're putting this story into living rooms across the nation.
Yeah.
And, it's going into areas where like people are probably not so cool with it, and yet for some reason they love these 2 guys and they're cool with that. Like it was like that Trojan horse type thing. I was like, we're sneaking.
Yeah, we got you.
It is crazy to like think how with sitcoms where I was just saying how it's timeless, but how there are things that we're like, wait, it was different. Like there was with that, and I was watching New Girl recently, and they were talking about like hiding weed. And I was like, you're in California. What are you talking about? You're hiding weed.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, New Girl's that old?
Yeah, it's been around.
Yeah, so there's there's also just like wildly hilarious episodes I remember. It's less about like what the finished product was and like kind of like more about what the experience was for us to film it. All of our Halloween episodes were always really fun because they were usually involved the entire cast, and the writers just wrote those episodes really well. But the very first Halloween episode we had, I remember the entire family was in the Dunphy living room, and we were all in these ridiculous costumes, and Sophia was having to do like a weird American accent, and her version of an American accent was like just ridiculous. And we could not get through that scene. It was just we were constantly breaking. Ed O'Neill would say a line, now we're breaking, we're laughing at him. Like it was just nonstop. It's like the memory of like just that and like being together with those people and just finding so much joy in them as people and as actors. I think that's an example of an episode that I'll always remember.
Yeah.
And it is actually a really good episode. And I think maybe it was nominated for an Emmy itself for writing, but like it is I have such special feelings about what it was like.
I remember that's the one where Sophie, she pops out and she's like,
welcome to your nightmare. Ho ho ho. Yes. She was saying ho ho ho.
Instead of saying I had
like going whoa, which is how it was written. She was like ho ho ho. It's like perfect example of like the way she translated what was on the page.
It's funny to me that there's a whole generation that would probably know Ed O'Neill now as Jay.
Yeah.
Where you ask a younger generation, older generation, they'd be like, "What are you talking about?"
Right.
That's Al Bundy.
That's Al Bundy.
I mean, to have 2 TV dads on your resume like that.
Yeah.
Quite the show, man.
For a show to have 2 legends, like where
he did 11 years on both of those shows.
Did he really?
22 years of his life.
22 years
were
on
on
2
very successful sitcoms.
And very different,
Very
like one
different.
irreverent and treating family kind of like, oh, everyone's family sucks.
So different.
And
Although
one
like
being like
Christina
the most...
Applegate and I became friendly after I was doing Modern Family, and like we shared that thing in common. Like we both had Ed O'Neill was our dad.
Yeah.
And we sort of feel that way. Like we kind of feel like siblings in a weird way. That
Totally.
Yeah.
And so now you have this like unbelievable Rolodex to eat food with and podcast with.
Yeah. Believe me, I mean, when I said yes to this podcast, they were like, well, who would you want as your guest? Like, what are some of your dream guests? It's like, I'm just gonna stick with people I know because it's a little bit of imposter syndrome that I'm going through. You know, it's something new for me, and you know, it's
welcome to the club.
Welcome to every day of my life. Yeah. But I wanted it to be with people that I just really trusted, and
also, that's the best conversation. It's real. It's genuine.
Yeah,
it's
although
like,
I sometimes find, I don't know if you've had people on your podcast that like you just know really well. Sometimes when it's someone you know so well, it's actually harder to interview them in this sort of circumstance because you're asking questions that you obviously know the answers to,
totally.
But it's not
or
for
you
your
don't
benefit.
even ask them. It's just like I know.
Or you don't ask
I know
them.
that part about you. Like they don't yet.
It's
100%.
a real delicate dance that I do where it's like because I don't want to go in. Like, I think it was Larry King we always talk about. Where Larry King said, I want to know what my guest knows. So he doesn't want to know anything about
the
his
most brilliant way to mail it in.
Yeah.
He
But
never read a book. He
you're
never
mailing
watched
it
a screener because he was like, I don't want to know any more than my audience knows. Okay, Larry.
But then we just had comedian Joey Diaz on, and he was promoting his book, and I read the whole book. And like that's all I want to talk about was like, and then I'm like, well, I'm giving away his whole book now. Where I'm like,
True.
we'll talk about this story. What's in the book? Go buy the book.
We did that with Jury Duty, too, with both those guys. We talked for an hour straight about every single episode, and it was like we just ruined, spoiler alert, we ruined the whole fucking series.
But now I want to go listen to that episode.
Honestly,
as a fan,
if there's any like there's a lot of cool behind the scenes stories on how that all worked.
I'm absolutely going to seek that out.
But yeah, the imposter syndrome is an interesting one for I think anybody in life, and probably more so now than in any other time in history, because I feel like in the past, if you became successful and maybe along with that fame and money, it was kind of like you earned it, or maybe not talent wise, but it's like you were on channel 2, 4, or 7, you were one of like 10 people and that was it, so it was like now
the pool's so big,
like you were in Hollywood, you were an actor or a singer or a TV, and you had an agent and people knew you and you deserved it or got there by going through you earned it,
right.
And now it's like I, made this silly video on TikTok, and now all of a sudden I have like 100,000 followers. Now I have 1 million followers, and now I'm famous, and people are like want more from me, and it's like I'm just a nobody. But it's like I don't know, you're not anymore, So it's like imposter syndrome is kind of morphing in a way, where I think there's a lot of people feeling it in different degrees. But it is. But it's hard.
I actually talk about it pretty freely. It's come up a few times in conversations. And I feel like let's talk about it because I'm sure, like you said, I think many people can relate to that.
Yeah.
And the fear of trying new things, and like I feel like there's how many things have I not tried that are new because I've been afraid of failing before I even tried them.
Yeah, that's the one. If
that's
I could go back,
succeeding sucks. You think, what are all the things I didn't try? God damn.
Or like if I tried, if I
could have been an astronaut this whole time.
I say the number one thing if I could go back and give my young self advice is like. Get over the fear of rejection, whether you're talking about asking a girl on a date or making a video or putting yourself out there. Like, who cares,
But that's also one of those things that you're never, like...
You can't. It's like human nature, right?
It doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that, but it's like the practice is different than the actual doing.
There are those select people who aren't scared of rejection. And how
I just think they lie.
Yeah, I do. But sometimes I think that's part of it is like you lie to yourself until you convince yourself. Smile every day, and your brain don't think you're happy.
I saw a video recently, and it was an Instagram, which is probably a TikTok because I don't know. That's how they get there. And, but it was about how everyone's lying about liking lobster, and that's not a new take. I've heard that before. That lobsters the insects of the sea, and they used to be fed to prisoners, and blah 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 blah. And then like the video was talking about why you're lying and why it's actually not good and blah blah blah. And it was like, but it's the brain. Your brain is telling you it's good. I was like, well, that's everything I think is good.
For sure.
So like, I'm not lying about liking lobster. Yeah. My brain's telling me it's good, so I like it.
Isn't that the definition of liking something?
Right? Like, there's this whole breakdown about why you're lying about how you like lobster. And it's like, and it's just because your brain says it's good. I don't know what
my brain says I'm hot. My brain says I'm cold. My brain says Also, listen, with lobster, I mean, I'm assuming you're a bit of a foodie if you're doing this thing. Yeah. It's like, if it's cooked right, and then you just douse it in butter and lemon, It tastes good. I don't, okay, maybe it's you could cook a raccoon that way, and I'd probably eat it. Like
the oysters is the one for me. Like I get the oysters, and like I was like, I know I should be really loving this, and I'm tolerating it.
Oh, I'm almost the opposite. I'm like, I don't know why other people do like this. I think it's gross, and then I like the slurping and the drinking of it, and then I also don't like the taste. So I'm like, I don't get the appeal of any of this. But
I grew up in New England, so like it was you ate oysters at every meal.
I want to like them.
And so like I pretended until I was 27, and then I was 27. I was like, you know what?
I'm done.
I'm done. I'm out.
They're not cheap either, right? Or are they?
I think they're rad. I mean, it's like people have like the $1 oyster deals around here. I don't think.
Oh God, I think I would steer away from that.
Yeah. Hey, you don't like 7-Eleven? But when I was 27, I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. But while we're on the seafood topic, I have a question for everybody. I was at the market on Saturday night, and I was just getting some food. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, you know what? They had pre-cooked and cracked and cut lobster, just like a big thing of it. And I got it, and I ate some, and then I ate some more, and now we're Tuesday. Can I eat it tonight?
Wait, when did you buy it?
Saturday.
Oh no.
I don't think so, right?
No.
I think I would let it go.
Damn. I saw it in the fridge this morning. I was like, that's going to be good for dinner tonight.
I can tell you right now.
It's Wednesday or Thursday. It's Wednesday he's going to eat it.
He will eat it, and he will come in tomorrow.
No, you won't see him for a few days.
He will come in tomorrow with food poisoning. You have never met
You're like,
someone
are you on Ozempic? Nope. Nope, ate my lobster.
You will never meet anybody who gets more food poisoning than this guy.
Are you serious?
It's insane.
Well, there you go.
One time he ate
Like,
Chinese food that gave him food poisoning, and he ate that same leftovers.
No.
And guess what happened? He got it again.
Sure you did.
It's just insane.
I love that
child.
I love that you kind of crowdsource. Like, do you think?
You were just begging for a yes.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get a no.
You're fine. You're fine.
I grew up in a home that did not respect expiration dates, and we do not respect food safety.
Most of the time, I think you're actually okay with that.
I think
Minus
so. I think
like milk. I think you're,
even milk. I've like,
I
just do a
as long as it's
test,
refrigerate, obviously.
Like,
but
my mom gave me E. coli once when I was a kid, where like I got E. coli on Christmas Eve, and I went to the doctor's, and he was like, I was admitted to the hospital, and the doctor was like, have you eaten any bad meat recently? And I was like in 5th grade, and I was like, no. And in the middle of my no, my mom went, yeah. And I was in 5th grade. She cooked it. She's like, yeah, I was making American chop suey. I thought there was something funky with that meat. And I said, she's still the person I go, which is why I get food poisoning all the time. She's still the person I go to with questions. And I called her. Well, it's actually not. It's a regular response of hers. But I called her, and I had meat that was probably like 2 weeks old, but it was vacuum sealed. And I was like, can I eat this? And she goes, you could mail that to the moon, get it back, and eat it.
Oh. It's like
I ate it and got food poisoning.
I was gonna say, if her track record was good, that'd be a great line.
Yeah.
When it's a bad track record, it's like you're wrong.
Yeah.
You can't mail it to the neighbor and back. It's already bad. What's your favorite meal? Let's say, okay,
like if
you're on death row. You get final meal.
Yeah.
I'll give you an appetizer, an entree, a dessert, and a drink.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, well, the drink's going to be a dirty martini, a slightly dirty martini.
Vodka.
See, that's actually the only thing I like about the
Vodka.
oysters is the salty taste of them.
Yeah.
You don't like that?
No, it's the only thing I do like about oysters. Yeah.
Vodka martini. I feel like the gin is making a little bit of a comeback.
I love gin.
Yeah, do you?
Well, I'm on death row. I might as well just go for it. I was saying, like, it gives me a bad hangover, but I'm not going to notice it. I think I would do like an enchilada, like chicken. Green chili chicken enchiladas or something.
I am on I think I have I think I'm a little bit autistic when it comes to my food. I think one of the hallmarks of that is you just like eat the same thing all the time. And I am on a chicken taco kick right now. I probably had them like 20 nights in a row. And
do you make them or do you buy them from?
No, I bought them and I have a food processor, so it's not even like shredded chicken. It's like it honestly looks. The presentation's terrible. It looks like cat food because it's so churned up. But I smash up tortilla chips, and I have it. I love sour cream. I get the melted cheese. I get the really shredded up chicken. I put the crunchy on top, and right now that could be my
doesn't
meal.
sound bad.
It's
really? Because
and rice. I'm on a big rice kick, so I put it in there. So I guess it's almost more of like a burrito action.
The whole thing, as you were explaining, I was like, thank God he has kids because it makes sense with children. But you eat like a stoned college kid.
What's wrong with the chicken taco?
It's what I said earlier, and I'm glad Jesse's here. Dinner's on me. The podcast. I have an issue with food as a whole, Jesse. I think that we are not respected by the restaurant industry anymore. And
He was just burning hot about
I
it.
was just real hot about this. It is everywhere you go. They just give you a cardboard bowl of slop, and they're like, "Here, eat it."
Where are you eating?
Well, it's not for dinner. It's for meals. It's like quick sustenance. But
Okay.
even a sweet green, even anywhere a kava, this and that. It's just they have
Protein, 2 sides, and a cauliflower. You just mash
They're
it
at
together.
the market plate sort of
Yeah.
thing. It's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
popular right now.
They respect you so little. They say, "Do you want forks and knives?"
But what I think, yes, I want that. God
You're gonna
damn
need
it.
utensils with this piggy.
Yeah.
They're like, I'll just get it with my hands. It's
your,
fine.
Your problem is the presentation where they just throw it all in a bowl.
Yeah.
Because I think all those things, if you had just like a chicken dish with some rice and some cauliflower, you'd be fine. But the fact that it's all lumped together in a bowl seems to be your...
I'm anti-bowl.
But it has nothing to do with my taco. Burrito.
I'm picturing it in a bowl.
Well, it's not. It's fucking wrapped up in a tortilla. I'm going to give you my chicken, and you're going to like... My chicken tacos are fire. And so, okay, so I brought that up because you're enchilada. So I don't think... Anytime I've asked this, like, Mexican is not doesn't come up much.
No?
Which for me, I'm all on board. So an enchilada...
I think it's
of some
because I
sort-
grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yeah, I bet you got some good eats there
Yeah.
when it comes to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got the drink. We got the...
I mean, a martini and an enchilada. I've already failed here.
what's your appetizer? It doesn't have to match. Let's just say what's the best of each one.
An appetizer could be like a like a bloomin' onion.
Bloomin' onion.
White
Not
trash,
a bad
I love it. Let's go.
Fried onion, right?
And those are so good, and they just wreck my stomach. Because you just
With
eat
ranch.
1,000 of them. You know, they
With
just...
ranch.
Are we talking specifically from Outback?
Sure.
Yeah. That's like the bloomin' onion to me. Yeah.
Mine is very specific, where it is a Southwestern style egg roll from the Chili's 2 airport in Charlotte. Airport
wow.
restaurant in the Charlotte airport.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which has recently closed. My mother was just there. I told her to go get me one. And
RIP.
last weekend she was there. She had an 11-hour layover.
A bunch of Burger Kings closed too recently.
Nah.
They're going out of business.
In
Are
the
they?
Charlotte airport?
They're,
Just in general?
No, like 400 of them across the country closed, which is like, I think if like one of them closes, it's
the
a bad
end of an
sign.
era.
Yeah. I don't know if they're like fully out, but it's like, those things usually
They're
just keep
downsizing.
growing. They don't, So the fact that Burger King
Sweet Green's taking all their business with
Yeah,
us,
well,
giving us
now
slop.
They're
They're
pig
sloppy
food.
bowls.
And are you a
want a
dessert
full-
guy?
I do like dessert. I'm like, ooh, like if there's a confetti cake on a menu, I'm gonna get it. Like a slice of confetti cake.
Is that often on menus though?
It's often on menus. It's kind of
Really?
a trendy thing right
Huh,
now.
I didn't realize that.
Confetti cake.
We just
Confetti
had-
cake and Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
Those are the two hot things. I just had a milk bar cake, milk
my
bar pie for the
God.
first time. It was $90, first of all.
Oh, you got the whole cake.
Yeah, you got the whole pie, and that is.
Was it the
just-
confetti one?
No, it's just like the milk bar pie, like the crack pie.
It looked
crack
like
pie.
Yeah.
Now, what the hell is in that? It is so.
That to me
Ridiculously
it
tasty.
feels like it's a pie
That could be my
of some
last.
sort that didn't. Yeah, that might be my meal. Forget the dessert. Just
It's
give
like
me
that
that.
custardy, but it's thin.
It's like a creme brulee, but it's a little bit like cookie dough chewy while also being an undercooked
and
pie.
you just know
and-
it's 70 million calories.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
We had we got it for.
If you were to eat like that whole pie, I think
I can't
instant
believe you were
diabetes
brave
or-
enough. You can get the slice, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I've
Well,
only
so
bought the slice.
I'm pretty sure they just take however much a slice is and multiply it by 8 pieces because a $90 pie.
It
is
was
great.
to be fair. So we got it. Will Poulter, the actor, he was in here the other day, and he had that on his GQ 10 Things I Can't Live Without. So we brought him one. He did not eat any of it.
He did not. I was like, apparently you can live without it.
But I had ordered it the night before. So the 90 includes delivery fees, but the pie itself, and I'm not much of a pie connoisseur. I don't know much about pie
That's
pricing.
not even like a pie. That's just because it was served in a circle. If you cut that in like a square, you know what I mean?
It's like more like a tart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I guess it does have the crust, so I
crust.
guess it's a pie. Yeah, but
Yeah, but that was, to be fair, that was just $60. And then
Still, man,
and then
that
whatever delivery service
Crack-
I use really gouges you.
They sure did,
Yeah.
didn't they?
Crack
I gave
pie
my
is
tip.
a,
Dude, I get so weird
pepperoni.
with that, with the tips for that, because there was a time where I guess you used to only order a pizza, but like your mom would give you a $5 to tip the guy.
Yeah.
And now it's always like I leave it at 20%, and
the percent gets kind of crazy.
I was like, I just tipped this guy $12 for a pie.
I know. It's like if I order, one meal for me okay, 25% makes it like, or 20% makes it a couple dollars. And if it's like me and the family and stuff, it's like, well, now I'm giving you like a $25 tip. I guess you have to carry a couple more bags to me. I don't know.
Yeah. Have you guys gotten to that place where I'll go into like a coffee shop or something and order maybe just even like something from like a bottle of water or like, they're not
and
even,
then,
and then the thing comes up and like,
yes,
for the tip. And I'm always, I can't not.
Well, the option of no tip makes
that
you feel like
very aggressive.
Yeah, right.
Like there's the option of like, and like 15 or 10%. I'm like, but I just picked up this bottle of water. All you've done is like told me how much it is. And I'm
You've
like,
done
now
nothing.
I'm rewarding you for that.
Yeah.
And I just I'm conflicted, but I have worked in service.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm very happy to tip.
Sure.
I've been on the other end of it.
But even when you do like a bottle of water, then the percentages feel insulting. It's like 73 cents.
Right. So then you round it up to $1.
Yeah.
I have two sworn enemies in my life. One is the gentleman who works downstairs in this building. I've said good morning to him every day for 3 years. He's never even looked at me.
He was so nice when I walked in.
Really? You must have had a different guy. Wait, was he really? Oh God. Okay. I'm like, I'm gonna keep saying it, dude. One day you're gonna say good morning back to me.
He does it every good morning and good night every time.
But the guy
like,
good night.
the
guy good night is he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Have a good night, sir. Have a good night, sir.
It's obnoxious. It drives me crazy. We walk out together. I'm more of like a head down kind of guy. I'm just I'm not rude about it, but whatever. And he's like, "Good night, sir. To your kindness to you and your family."
We call each other sir. It's a thing we have. It's a kinship. But the guy in the morning, I can't break him. I'm gonna get him one day.
You will. Just keep trying.
And the other guy is the guy who works at the whatever you would call it, the convenience store at the Providence, Rhode Island Amtrak station. And
very specific.
I go in the same thing. I get a water and I get a beef jerky for my train ride. And he doesn't turn the iPad over. He hits it. Like,
here you go.
Like,
trash.
Here's the tip part. And every time I'm like, 25%. But one day, man, there's gonna be this relationship we have is gonna come to a head. And we're gonna have to figure something out.
The tension's building for sure.
So dirty martini. What was the appetizer? Bloomin' onion, enchilada of some sort, and then a confetti cake.
Oh, God, I feel like I need to change my order. I just got a massive stomach ache when you repeated that back to me.
What's like the most... I would imagine you're eating at high-end restaurants and like it's nicer food.
You imagine right.
Yeah. I'm saying, what's like the most like kind of trashy food that you still like? That you eat?
Taco Bell.
Yes! Just had a cheesy gordita crunch for the first time ever. Cheesy gordita crunch to me is the number one fast food item in the world.
Yeah, it's insane.
That is
I've never had
so
it.
good.
Guys, even just like a regular ground beef.
Yes, the taco.
I want
soft
a
or
soft
hard?
taco.
Soft
Soft taco.
Now this is not quite at Taco Bell. I don't think they give you a choice, but in general, Mexican corn tortilla or flour.
Flour.
Yeah, hitting all the spots, Jesse.
I have gone to Taco Bell and ordered like 15 tacos before, and I eat like 3 of them when I'm done. But I just like the thought of like I'm gonna eat all these and I'm gonna love it.
Yes,
so good.
Every time you see it, it's like $1.60. It's like that's what I tip. That's
so cheap.
That's less than I tip for a water and a beef jerky.
It's ridiculously inexpensive.
It's like that's $0 come on, like $1 something.
Well, now
is
they have the
$0.
cantina, so you can actually rack it up.
Yeah,
because they have margaritas.
A cheesy gordita crunch, a Doritos Locos taco, a regular taco. Oh my god, baby, let's go. Have you had their the Cinnabon desserts?
I have not.
They're literally partnered with Cinnabon, and it's balls, and they have like the goo in the inside, and they serve you like 12 of them.
Jesus,
they're a fucking problem.
Also balls with the goo. I don't know.
You got to be pretty secure.
They are. We got them.
Hey, you got any more of those gooey balls? I don't know the name of them. Gooey balls.
And you can't like. If you bite it, it's everywhere. So you got to just eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
We got them. We
experience.
We had a show in Dallas like a few weeks ago, and we ordered them. Like we get home and for some reason New York is the only city in the world. Like everywhere we go, we do like live podcast shows.
Do you feel that? Like I mean, you've probably been around. Like we
that
can't,
New York is the only city in the world.
Like the only city that like just period. The only city. Because, we got out of our show at like 9:30 and we couldn't get food.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we want like
and even New York right now, it's not as great as it used
to be like all around the clock. And then like I was asking if there's any like pharmacies nearby. Just like I need like a kind of like a corner store, and they didn't have that. And I was just like, how do you people live?
I do agree with you with that. Like,
it's snobby, but whatever.
But so we ordered Taco Bell, and we got the 12, and I never had the cheesy. I just didn't grow up in a Taco Bell family. I was a McDonald's family. That's where we went when we got fast food, and I never had the cheesy gordita, which I got was delicious. Kevin he's like, get the 12 of the gooey balls, and so I took like 3 back to my, because I dropped his bag off and I just grabbed 3 out of those, went back to my room. And if I had 50, I'd eat.
Yeah.
Like I was.
Okay, I got to try the gooey balls.
The gooey balls. Well, if you've ever had Cinnabon,
I have. Yeah.
That, and the balls are just kind of a different form of that. I used to go to the mall when malls were a thing, you know, and the Cinnabon would be there, and I would get the big,
next to a hot dog on a stick.
Yeah. Man, Auntie Anne's too.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all. What's the most? Have you had any like Michelin star type dishes, like a renowned dish that you'd be like, this is the best I've ever had in the world?
Oh God, it's so funny because like I sometimes go to these restaurants that are like so lauded, and the food is always great and it's beautiful, but I like accessible food. I like something that feels like, not that something I can make at home, but like I want to recognize what it is. I mean, I just had this lasagna from Don Angie's with Jim Parsons just like an hour ago, and it's this insane. It's made like a jelly roll. So it's sheets of pasta. They spread the bechamel, and they spread the ragu on it, and then they roll it up like a jelly roll, and then they slice it, and then it's baked in like little pinwheels. Ooh. So the pasta, you got the instead of just like getting like the edge of the lasagna like on the sides, like you basically every little pinwheel gets
crispy,
like that crispy like.
Because my problem with the lasagna is sometimes it becomes like this Italian like soup,
Right.
But so you always want the corners.
Yeah.
The
so this is
curly
like
edges,
your
but now you
own
get
little
all
like
that.
pinwheel of like everything in it, all the textures you want. It's really spectacular. But I've also eaten in some very, very fancy places that I adore. I mean, like there's this place in Chicago, Grant Atkins's place called Alinea, and he's sort of if you ever watched Chef's Table, he was featured on an episode of that. But like he does very like inventive, crazy, weird things, and like it's sort of performance art as well. Only like 12 people dine there, and like you go into the kitchen for like a course, and when you come out, like they've rearranged the dining room, and everyone's sitting in there. It's like weird stuff like that.
It's like the menu.
The menu. It kind of reminded me a lot of the menu. But like at dessert course, the waiters came over and they removed what seemed to be like a ceiling tile from the roof and brought it down to our table, and it was actually our plate now, and they ended up like doing this to like techno music, like this deconstructed, they were coming over and splattering shit on this tile that came off the ceiling, and it was like this deconstructed dessert, and they're like, this is a Mars bar, and you tried it, and I was like, and it looked like either a dog had a like massive accident or like a Jackson Pollock sort of thing. And you eat this thing, you're like, that's a Mars bar. Yeah. That's a Mars bar. Yeah. But it was this deconstructed weird thing. And it was just like a combination of like how ridiculous it was. Yeah. And like they weren't taking themselves too seriously.
Yeah, right.
This
kind of
plate came off the ceiling. I was like, what? This was like just a great 15 minutes of my life.
Yeah. Like part show, part dinner.
And the food was also really lovely. It all tasted great. So
I felt that the same way when the first time I ever had guacamole made by my tableside.
Yes.
I was like on a date, in high school. I was like, wow, look at me.
Pomegranate seeds. Which that's my biggest pet peeve is I do not like pomegranate seeds in my guacamole. No, it's a thing that people do.
I didn't even...
That's a thing. It would have been in a table-side service.
It's a thing. I'm trying to decide if I don't eat enough guacamole to have a hard stance on it, but I think I'd like it. I think.
What's your least like? I think chicken fajitas are the most like obnoxious thing in the world, and I can't. It's such a ridiculous presentation. It drives me crazy.
It is a bit ridiculous.
The place just stunk up, and it's like
you're sort of like
it's also 800
involving
degrees
the entire restaurant in your meal.
Yeah.
Mine isn't even that. I don't like it because it's. I'm thinking on a personal.
So much work you have to do.
Yeah,
I paid you to make
it. You're a professional food.
I kind of like that you
person.
can pick and choose. Like, well, now I'm going to do one with sour cream.
Yeah,
I do like that. It's like you're kind of in charge of your own destiny.
A little fondue type. I can mix and match.
But. Yeah.
Before we let you go, I did tell you, you gave me both, and this is back to Modern Family, both a complex in a sense and the cure for it.
He had a complex before you, trust me. Whatever he's about to say, it was before you.
It was, Julie makes fun of you in one episode where she's making fun of your jawline. She goes, we all know why you grew that beard.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, guess who's going to start getting his beard professionally trimmed?
Yeah. But you know what? I think I had actually said that out loud, and one of the writers overheard me.
Really?
I grew a beard when I was doing Modern Family because I at the time was
how old were you?
Early 30s, maybe 33 or 34.
That's right around when a guy learns that a beard covers the fat face.
Right.
Late 20s, early 30s. I was like, wait a minute, I don't have a double chin anymore.
It's
gone.
It like gives you some structure. Yeah. But also, I was convinced that I looked too young to be a dad. I mean, I would have been a young dad.
Yeah.
At least, please, people are having kids in their 20s like when I was younger, but like I just felt like I didn't see myself in that role, so I thought if I grow some facial hair I'll look a little older, and then I got very used to it, and I remember having to shave it I did a play over one of my hiatuses, and it looked like I had like an alien face, like it just sort of evaporated into like this like kind of little point and then just like went away. Like I had no jaw.
Nothing. You need
I had no jaw.
Yeah.
It's like I missed the structure of my jaw.
I mean, but once you go beard, you can't go back because it's like I feel naked without it. It is.
It was probably until then, but it was actually more. I've seen the show a million times, but again, I'm just always doing rewatches. It's always on. It's unbelievable. It's actually perfect. Like
it
when
is
you're like,
I
don't know what I want to watch, and when you're scrolling the TV, I want to watch Modern Family. That's what I want to watch.
Yeah.
But I'd seen it more recently, and I live right across the street from a barbershop, and I've always been so scared to go because I don't have a beard. I have like hair on my face kind of deal. It's not a beard. And I go, and I just, the guys must hate me because I just always just make jokes like, must be like cutting a bald guy's head. like you're not being original. We've heard this 10,000 times.
But the thing, I don't feel too bad because you have like the greatest head of hair.
Yeah, no one's worried about your face, dude. They're all about your hair.
I mean, like you make up for it other ways. Like that's a great head of hair.
You got a great beard too, though. I mean, you got.
Thank you.
You know, it's a good.
Yeah.
It's like you have like head hair on your face. You know what I mean? like lays. You know, I got like patches and swirls and stuff. You got like no.
Yeah, I spent a year doing this play in New York, and I had a mustache.
Oh yeah,
which I kind of also really liked.
Yeah,
but like people would comment on Instagram like, take that thing off your
mustache
face.
Goes like one or the other. Some people love it.
Yeah,
they get a kick out of it. Other people are like, you look like you're a deviant.
Yeah.
Was that Take Me Out?
Take Me Out. Yeah. I was playing a business manager. I was like, what would a business manager have? A mustache.
A mustache.
Business manager. There you go.
It's this crazy thing. Like I've been I played a role for 11 years that a lot of people know about, and it's like, what can I do to help you not see that? Because my job is to like embody this person. So it's a lot to like crawl out from under that.
It's a great problem to have, though, man.
Totally great problem.
I've been lucky enough to talk to so many people who have been like either an iconic role or known for a single song or whatever.
Yeah.
And there are people who embrace it, and there are people who like hate it. And I get it, but I'm also like, dude, that bought you your kids' college. That bought you your house. That bought you love that role, embrace that role.
No, I do. It's just it takes a little bit of extra effort.
Sure.
To like make people forget that when it's time to forget it.
Yeah. Well, what'll help too, I think, the podcast is like when people get to know you and not your roles.
Right.
It becomes like you're no longer you're no longer your character. You're you become Justin.
Absolutely.
We were saying that recently with a guest, where it's like this moment you learn like a thing about a person. You're like, okay, it's weird to look at a celebrity such as yourself or any celebrity, and you're like you get dehumanized very quickly. And in the moment you learn maybe two, usually
2 facts.
One thing you learn one thing, you're like, I can hate that thing still, and then the second thing, I'm not even saying you're like,
I'd be like, oh shit, he's a dad and he likes Taco Bell. Cool.
Yeah,
we're friends.
Never look at you the same.
Speaking of facts, before we let you go, we have been doing a thing with our guests where everyone provides us with a fun fact they have. Everyone has. I feel like everyone's got like a fun fact they like. We had a caller call in recently, and they explained to us that William the Conqueror was when he laid in state after he died. The embalming was not perfected yet. and he exploded onto his funeral goers.
Fun fact. I guess you could debate the word fun, but
yeah. It doesn't have to be fun.
I have to come up with something like that.
Will Poulter gave us the etymology of the phrase "it's raining cats and dogs." It was back at a time where there was straw roofs were, and when it rained, and this is back when animals were like in the farms and in the barns, and they would hang out on top, and when it would rain too much, the roof would break, and the cats and dogs would fall from the ceiling. So if it rained hard enough, it would be raining cats and dogs.
Oh my God! I have to come up with something like that.
Whatever. Has there ever been a little tidbit that's stuck in your brain? Has there ever been a little something? You know what I heard?
Oh my God!
It's we're certainly putting you on the spot.
It's hard.
I mean, I was gonna tell you like that. I studied mime as a kid. Like I was like, gonna be a fun fact that like not a lot of people know about.
You also were a failed model, as we learned, right?
Yeah. I don't know if I was ever like on my way to becoming model, but I did not succeed.
I don't know if that was your. I thought that was your phrase. Is the only reason I said it.
Failed models, yeah. No, I failed for sure. Yeah.
I think it was in the description of the podcast, so
yeah.
I wouldn't have spent your face.
Right,
so here's what you failed at. Right?
That's right. It is in the description of the podcast. That's right. Yeah. There's a funny story around
that. A mime, though, huh?
Yeah, I studied. I was part of the Albuquerque Children's Theater, and there was a faction of the company that was like on Saturdays at 3:00 you can also come over early and we're gonna do some mime work and like learn how to mime. And I was like, yeah, sign me up.
Wow.
Yeah,
that would be.
Do you have any of it still?
Do I have any of those skills still?
Yeah.
Not really.
You can bypass the fun fact if you give us a little mimery.
The fake wall. The one that's really hard is like the hamster in a wheel.
Yeah.
Some people are really good at that. Not me, not so much. I wish I had a better fun fact for you. I don't think I know of anything that that's super fun.
It's hard because it's like we do put you on the spot, and I'm honestly like, if someone asked me right now, I don't think I'd have a fun fact.
I would go with my Pirates one. I don't know why that's the one I stick with. Actually, and you might appreciate it as a foodie.
Tell me.
The Pirates back in the day, not the current ones. They would when they were eating below deck, they'd blow out all their candles and they'd eat in the pitch black, so they didn't see how maggot infested all their food was.
Oh.
Most fun facts are not particularly fun.
No, they're always really grim, aren't they?
Zebras are officially white with black stripes.
Oh, really?
Because if you think about it, you don't really know if they're white or black.
Yeah.
But they are white.
I didn't know that.
Like if you were to get down to their skin, I guess is white, and then there's the black stripes. Part. But
yeah, the accessory.
If there were to be a stripeless zebra, it would be a white
zebra.
animal. Yeah.
Huh.
We got you covered. All good.
Okay, well, I'll use any of those. It's fine.
Crowdsource, like we said.
Yeah.
Okay, so the podcast.
Dinner's on Me.
Dinner's on Me comes out
May 23rd, I believe.
23rd. We can
There's
expect
2
24
back-to-back episodes. Yeah.
Cool.
There's 2 back-to-back episodes. Julie Bowen and Jesse Williams are the first 2 that.
And it's everywhere you can listen to
everywhere you listen to your podcast.
Yeah. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for having me, guys.
Awesome.
This is fun.
All right. Big thanks for watching. If you made it through this whole episode, that means you should be subscribed. There's so many of you out there who watch and don't subscribe, so make sure you are a KFC Radio subscriber. Make sure you get all the content when it drops. Click that button now.
I have 9 fingers. I'm still subscribed. It's that easy.